Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and welcome to the show, y'all. Last time we left off with Marcus sitting in a prison cell, betrayed by the brother he trusted most. If you thought that was the end of the story, think again. Today we're picking up where we left off, diving even deeper into the fallout of Tony and Marcus's choices. Prison life hit Marcus hard. He wasn't the type to thrive in that kind of environment. Quiet and reserved, he found himself trying to keep his head down and avoid trouble. But as anyone who's done time knows, that's easier said than done. Inside, alliances are everything, and standing alone can make you a target. Marcus was approached by a group early on. They saw potential in him not because he was tough, but because they knew his story. Word got around that he'd taken the fall for his brother. That kind of loyalty, twisted as it might seem, earned him a certain level of respect. But respect in prison often comes with strings attached. Meanwhile, on the outside, Tony was living his life like nothing had happened. He was still hustling, still looking for the next big score. But deep down, Tony knew he was walking a dangerous line. Betraying Marcus had gotten him out of one mess, but it left him looking over his shoulder. Trust is hard to rebuild once it's broken, and Tony was finding that out the hard way. Back in prison, Marcus had a decision to make. The group that had approached him wasn't offering friendship, they were offering protection for a price. Marcus was no fool. He'd seen what happened to guys who tried to go it alone. But he'd also seen what happened to those who got in too deep with the wrong crowd. One night, Marcus found himself thinking about his brother. Despite everything, a part of him still wanted to believe Tony would come through for him. Maybe Tony would confess, take responsibility, and set things right. But as the months turned into years, that hope began to fade. Then Marcus got some unexpected news. His mother wrote to him telling him that Tony had been arrested. This time it wasn't for something small. Tony had gotten caught up in a drug operation and the charges were serious. The irony wasn't lost on Marcus. For all of Tony's charm and quick thinking, he'd finally run out of luck. But here's the twist: Tony's arrest set off a chain of events that Marcus couldn't have predicted. Investigators started looking into Tony's past, and questions about the robbery that sent Marcus to prison began to resurface. It seemed like there might be a chance for the truth to come out. Still, Marcus wasn't sure how to feel. Would clearing his name really change anything? Could he forgive Tony for what he'd done? Or was it too late for any kind of redemption? That's where we'll leave it for today. Marcus's story is far from over, and the choices he faces next will define not just his future, but his relationship with the brother who betrayed him. So as we close this episode of Doing Time with Joe, remember sometimes the hardest battles aren't the ones we fight with others. They're the ones we fight within ourselves. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all. Check this out, y'all. During this brief interlude, I just want to drop something on y'all real quick. Approximately 400,000 youth in the U.S. are estimated to be involved in gangs, according to the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. Feel free to tell me what y'all think about that in my comments section.
I'm getting so